So pretty standard pre-flop. You see Wiktor with the 2 queens, making a 2.5x. And for Fedor, ace-deuce offsuit is pretty much just a call. It's not really a 3-betting hand. And now on this flop, check. The big size here from the button is pretty standard on a 9-6 deuce, like uncoordinated board, whether you have queens or whatever you have. Because again, one of the things that you learn when you study heads up is some boards favor the pre-flop raiser heavily and others don't. The reason this board really does is because, for example, I mean, Fedor's not going to have 10s, jacks, queens, kings, or aces, but you can, right? So your range is a little bit wider, but a lot stronger as well. Because a lot of the hands that, frankly, Fedor is going to 3-bet a lot of 9s too, like 9-10 suited, 8-9 suited, ace-9 suited, all those kind of hands. So good flop for him to bet the big size with his entire range. And for Fedor, this ace-deuce, I mean, I'll talk about this more on the turn, but this ace-deuce hand, the solver seems to just have a hard-on for this hand. It loves it so much. It always wants you to go bonkers, it seems, with the ace-deuce. So Fedor does have the ace of spades, backdoor spade draw. He elects to just call. And now the turn card is a 5, and this is where things get interesting as far as I'm concerned, okay? So a check from Fedor, nothing interesting there. And, you know, we're going to see a bet from Wiktor. Take a look and see what size he chooses. All right, so about 2/3 pot. Now if you're Fedor, what do you do here? Right? You could make a case for everything, can't you? You could make a case for saying, okay, I'll just fold, right? You know, he's got something, whatever. You can make a case for call. You've got deuces with an ace. You beat 8-10. You beat a whole bunch of, you know, guts. He could have king 8, king 7, just be barreling with one of those types of hands. And you can also occasionally do what Fedor is about to do and raise. So he raises it to 5,700. Okay, so as I said, the solver really likes, you know, seems to really like deuces with the ace. Why does it choose a hand like deuce with the ace? Well, the ace is actually the key card. Why does it like having an ace? Because in a lot of spots on the turn, your opponent, if he has an ace, he usually has showdown value, so he doesn't have to just like bluff as often, right? So if he has ace, he's going to check back more. So when you have an ace, it increases the likelihood that maybe your opponent's barreling with queen jack, king jack, queen 10, you know, a whole bunch of hands like that. So you block a lot of the hands that might check back, and you unblock, you know, a lot of hands that might continue with a barrel bluff here. So what is Fedor saying that he has now, right? Fedor is saying that he has 7-8, right? Or 3-4. The question first and foremost when you make a play like this, is that credible? Can Fedor have 7-8? And absolutely. 7-8 offsuit as a combo is not a hand he's going to 3-bet, hardly. You know, once in a blue moon, sure. 7-8 suited, he will. 3-4 suited, he's going to play. Sometimes some people play 3-4 off, some people don't. And in addition to that, bluffs, right? So let's say Fedor has a hand like Queen 4 spades or Jack 4 spades. Not a terrible spot to go for the check raise with the backdoor draw and a non-showdownable hand. Ace deuce is just an interesting one because, you know, you do have a pair. So you have some showdown value with this hand. So turning this one specifically into a bluff is a little, you know, strange, but it's not strange to the GTO bot. Because the GTO bot, like I said, it loves to add this specific hand, ace deuce and king deuce specifically, into a lot of its bluff range. And you have to have a bluff range in this spot. If you're the kind of player who, when they check raise here, they always are going to have those kind of hands, then you're not check raising enough, right? So your opponents can just start folding against your, you know, your turn check raises. So now if you're Wiktor, right, you have 2 queens. And this is the other side of the coin where I really wanted to talk about. So you're very, very deep, right? As you can see. And a check raise on this board is strong. Like you're concerned, right? Queens is a bluff catcher, right? You do not, if your opponent is not bluffing, you are behind. That's a hard pill for people to swallow a lot of the time, to realize like, but I have queens. Yeah, but if he's not bluffing, you're just dead. So you call, you're hoping he's got 2 pair if he's value betting, and then you can maybe counterfeit him by hitting a queen or, you know, a non-paired card, but it's not a great situation either way. But having said that, you know, against a player like Fedor, who's capable, with a hand like queens and the queen of spades, I wonder if, you know, it ever makes sense to fold here. And I can't really think of any, you know, I think it's too early in the hand to fold for this size. And we're going to watch and see what Wiktor does. He's bet 1,700 and the bet is 4,000 more. So it's a pretty sizable raise, but as you can see, they're very, very deep. And the concern for Wiktor is, okay, if I call this bet, you know, what now on the river? Like, am I calling? Wow. As I said, throughout this entire match, it just appeared as though Wiktor was over-folding a lot, and that's why some of the really aggressive plays from Fedor clearly paid off, because he was not under-bluffing. He was probably on the spectrum of over-bluffing. So if you're over-bluffing and your opponent's over-folding, that's a recipe for success, and Fedor's had success in all 3 of the matches. I imagine Wiktor's going to look back at these 3 and make adjustments, right? He's going to say, all right, well, the read I had, or, you know, what I thought Fedor was going to do, he's clearly not doing. So the question is, does he adjust? And if so, does Fedor adjust back, or does it revert back to just sort of a GTO line where everyone just tries to play properly, if you will? So interesting hand here. Very aggressive play from Fedor. And again, sort of the theme of the match was Wiktor overfolding. He did so here, and he got bluffed a lot. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I sure did. Cheers.